Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are promising you a completely streamlined blueprint. The goal? To replace that overwhelming sea of software subscriptions you're probably drowning in right now. We're going to curate a high-impact, localized AI tool stack that covers exactly what you need to build, work, and just manage your life. Basically, we're talking about the only AI tools you actually need. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Be totally honest with me right now. Are you bleeding money on bloated cloud services? Paying for 5 different subscriptions that you barely even use? Hey, we've all been there, right? Juggling tools for chatbots, coding, image generation, research. It's a lot. But what if you could replace almost all of that with just one cohesive workspace and a few carefully chosen, highly optimized tools?
To make sense of this whole thing, we're going to map out 5 distinct digital life zones. We've got home base and deep research, descending into Builder Dungeon, mastering the Hermes agent, managing the Octopus HQ, and finally, inside the Content Studio.
All right, starting things off with Zone 1, Home Base and Deep Research.
The core of this home base is really tight. The source blueprint uses Claude Cowork to generate these automated custom morning briefs, pulling in your emails, calendar events, and portfolio updates. It then recommends Claude Chat for those quick, everyday questions. And for objective, multi-source internet searches, Perplexity is absolutely the go-to here. Perplexity is especially fantastic because, well, say you're traveling or based in a place like Hong Kong, where some AI chatbots just flat out require a VPN. Perplexity bypasses that friction entirely, all while instantly cross-referencing live sources. Super seamless.
But when it comes to deep research at the home base, Notebook LM 2.0 is the heavy hitter. It's honestly like having a research team with general intelligence sitting right on your desk. The process here is incredibly powerful. You basically feed it verified inputs, like, say, the World Ahead 2026 forecast from The Economist. Then you just ask it to extract market trends and gaps, score their viability for a solo founder SaaS business aiming for 20 grand a month in profit, and finally have it generate studio outputs. We're talking audio podcasts and slide decks to actually brief you on its own results. It's wild.
Here's a fascinating data point it actually extracted. A massive 14% drop in global mass market wine consumption since 2018. That's largely driven by health-conscious millennials and Gen Z. And based purely on that single piece of data, the AI validated a highly viable California sober microdosing and mindful intoxication companion app. Literally, it took raw economic data and turned it into a fully validated SaaS blueprint in seconds. Just think about that. Oh, and Notebook LM doesn't just read text anymore. It now has a live code execution sandbox. So you can upload a spreadsheet of your personal investment portfolio, and it will actually write and execute code to cross-reference your holdings against those 2026 global forecasts. And this brilliantly illustrates where it gets so powerful. It might analyze your gaps and automatically suggest reallocations. Like bumping up European defense stocks, moving into India ETFs as supply chains shift, or grabbing some clean tech. It's essentially top-tier financial research acting locally on your own personal data.
Moving right along to Zone 2, descending into Builder Dungeon.
Now, in this zone, the biggest choice you make is hardware and models. On one hand, you have cloud models. Sure, they're powerful, but they are expensive, subscription-based, and inherently send your private data away to somebody else's server. On the other hand, you have local, open-source models running completely free and private 24/7. Using a machine like an M4 Max Studio running models like Qwen, that completely changes the game. Honestly, unless you are, and to quote our source directly here, filthy stinking rich, running an optimized local setup for your agentic building is going to save you an absolute fortune in the long run.
The coding stack down in the dungeon is built entirely for speed. The blueprint recommends Claude Code for deep, autonomous work right inside your own code bases. Then there's Warp, which orchestrates multiple agents simultaneously via the terminal. Looking for a familiar IDE experience? Cursor has AI baked right in. And when you just want to skip the code entirely and prototype super fast, Bolt and Retool are your go-tos. Finally, for wiring up custom agents completely from scratch, N8N and the OpenAI SDK do all the heavy lifting.
Spending all day in this digital builder dungeon definitely takes a toll, though, as our source humorously put it regarding relying entirely on AI for everything. Because of AI psychosis, I'm incapable of writing stuff anymore. I want to physically feel things again. It's funny, but man, it's so true. And this is exactly why we need structured, local, autonomous agents to handle the heavy lifting for us, so we can, finally step away from the screen and touch some grass.
All right, ascending into Zone 3, mastering the Hermes agent.
Setting this open-source local agent up correctly is really the difference between an AI that forgets everything in 5 minutes and an AI that acts like a magical assistant. So let's break down this highly technical setup into 4 very approachable chunks. First, choose your hardware. That could be a Mac Studio, a cheap PPS, or even your old laptop containerized with Docker. Second, download it. You can literally just use the desktop app if terminal commands freak you out. Third, configure its native skills and third-party integrations. And fourth, this is the big one, optimize its memory management.
Hermes thrives on these 4 pillars. It's got built-in tools like web searching and image generation. It has integrations, so you can hook it up to Discord and get pinged right on your phone when a software build is successful. It has skills, which are essentially custom instruction manuals it learns over time, like evaluating business ideas based on your highly specific criteria. So the crucial point is the cron jobs. These are scheduled tasks. Basically, Hermes runs nightly system checks and daily news aggregations automatically in the background while you sleep, exist, and eat food. It just works for you.
But hey, an agent is only as good as its memory, right? If you've used agents before, you know they can get bloated and painfully slow. Hermes actually avoids this with a tiered memory system. Tier 1 keeps essential context, who you are and what the agent's soul is, deliberately brief in Markdown files. Moving down, Tier 2 uses an SQLite database to retrieve archived conversational logs only when they are actually needed. Tier 3 uses an external plugin called Honchos to silently learn your implicit habits and patterns. And Tier 4 is a direct connection to an Obsidian second brain vault for deep, long-term project storage. This architecture keeps the agent incredibly fast while ensuring it literally never forgets a detail.
Now, here's a quick tip for the advanced users out there wanting to squeeze every single ounce of performance out of this local setup. Skip the easy wrappers like Llama. Just bypass them. If you take 30 minutes to set up llama.cpp directly, you're going to get much faster generation speeds and absolute direct control over your local open source models. Consider it a pro hack. It is highly recommended.
Moving up to Zone 4, managing the Octopus HQ.
When you transition from a solo builder to managing a remote multidisciplinary team, your tool stack naturally has to evolve. The source strategy for collaborative work relies on established giants, but infused with AI. Notion, with embedded Notion AI, acts as the central company brain. Google Workspace, supercharged with Gemini for transcribing meetings, handles the day-to-day stuff. Whisperflow is absolutely incredible for rapid, highly accurate audio inputs when you're on the go. But for those meta-business tasks, like accounting, banking, and taxes, the strategy relies entirely on custom-built local AI tools from the Builder Dungeon to guarantee absolute financial privacy.
The unsung hero underlying almost all of these team workflows and agent automations is the SERP API. Seriously, when your local AI agent needs live data, like tracking news or pulling financial figures, it normally breaks on CAPTCHAs or weird website layouts. The SERP API programmatically pulls real-time, clean search engine results directly into a structured JSON format. This ensures your autonomous systems basically never break down when fetching live information from the web. It's a lifesaver.
And finally, we enter Zone 5, inside the Content Studio.
Let's move to and see how this actually builds. How does this multi-agent architecture fuel real creative output? Step 1. The Hermes agent continuously tracks platforms like Reddit and X for popping AI topics. Step 2. It flags a rising trend, like, say, enterprise AI adoption for human review. Step 3. Once it's approved, Hermes generates a highly structured research outline based on internet data. Step 4. The human creator takes over, doing the filming, and the editor polishes it. So the AI handles the heavy lifting of the research, but it deliberately leaves the final, authentic delivery entirely to humans.
I really loved this discovery from the source material. To keep the team moving fast without bottlenecking the host's time, there's this brilliant internal tool called AI Tina. It's essentially a localized chatbot trained exclusively on the host's past social media content, videos, and frameworks. So if a team member needs to recall a specific prompt engineering framework created like months ago, they don't have to wait for a Slack reply. They just query the AI instantly. It's a complete light bulb moment for internal team efficiency.
So as we look at this entire, highly optimized ecosystem, I've got to ask you, which zone of your AI life map are you going to optimize first? Whether it's finally canceling those bloated cloud subscriptions to build a local Hermes agent or leveraging Notebook LM for deep financial research right at your home base, it is time to consolidate your stack and take control. Start building your localized map today. Thanks so much for joining us on this explainer, and we will see you in the next one.